So my name is Joy Marie Mann, otherwise known as Savage Joy. I am in Harrisburg area, Pennsylvania. Some of you may know me from the Unruly Hour, as Katie said, and co-author of the parody book about resistors, the Yas Queen Chronicles, which Miss Bree is in. If you want to learn more, you can listen to Nina Turner's most recent podcast, in which we discuss how my disability, how I overcame that to co-author a book. So in any case, I was speaking to you today, not just as someone in independent media, but as someone who also became unexpectedly disabled. One night I went to sleep like normal, and I woke up with most of my eyesight gone. I thought perhaps I was still sleeping. I was completely disoriented and told my husband to hand me my glasses. I put them on and realized absolutely no change. There was, it was like I just suddenly put on a blindfold. I was completely, confused and overwhelmed. I struggled to get dressed, and my husband took me to the hospital. It was there I was diagnosed with a rare disorder named myopic degeneration. Since 2019, my entire life has changed. There was no progression of losing my sight. It was literally overnight. To say it's been traumatic is an understatement of epic proportions. I lost my job, which was unfortunately legal because I was a contractor. And I went from typing 52 words per minute to 21 with mistakes, which was one of the reasons they let me go. I have worked in healthcare for over 10 years, ironically. I stopped being able to do many of the things I love. I was an English major and now find myself unable to read books. For instance, things such as simple as trying to put a pen cap on a pen will send me into ugly crying because of frustration. It takes many times to do things that we've all done so many times so thoughtlessly. I'm constantly walking into things and fall down a lot. My life has been uprooted completely. In January, despite everything, I decided to move from Pennsylvania to Iowa for 5 weeks to campaign for Bernie Sanders. It was a struggle in so many ways. I'm not allowed to drive. I only knew one person. I'd never been to Iowa. And yet somehow I was convinced I could still go door to door in 4 degrees with ice and snow. I think a lot of it was denial. But those 5 weeks taught me that I can still do some of the things I want to. I bring this up because one of the highlights of those 5 weeks was meeting Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. I tried to tell her how much her fight for Medicare for All meant to me, but my words couldn't escape as I cried. Rashida grabbed my hands and she cried with me. I told her I was terrified of what I was going through and how much more my sight was worsening. She embraced me and we held hands for minutes. It meant so much to have some hope restored by someone I respect so much. So I guess my question to Rashida is, are you the same person who cried with me? and held my hands as we discussed the need for Medicare for all. Since Iowa, I've had eye injections which cost over $12,000 each. I get them each eyes every 30 days. And I've had 2 eye surgeries, which even with insurance leaves me thousands in medical debt. Not to mention a $5,000 deductible, which starts again in a day. In addition to myopic degeneration, I have a detached retina, which had surgery for, and it didn't take, so I had to have it again. And cataracts. Ideal eyesight is 20/20. Mine is 20/24 or 20/2400. I was visually impaired, then legally blind, and now I'm visually disabled, all within less than a year. I do not share this to scare you. What happened to me is very rare, but I do share it with you because it's important to realize that while you may not need Medicare for all today, you very well may need it tomorrow. On top of having your life turned upside down when becoming disabled, why the hell should everything be exacerbated by things like pre-authorizations and medical bills and countless insurance phone calls? Something I've never personally shared publicly is the despair and deep depression which comes from becoming disabled. The feeling of being broken and feeling like you're a burden because suddenly you need to ask for help for the littlest things. And sometimes when you go to bed, hoping you just don't wake up the next morning. My question to Rokana is, are you the same person I interviewed on my show 4 times who continuously supported Medicare for all? Are you the same Ro who shared my post about my medical needs and my medical bills and said it's unacceptable? My question to AOC is, are you the same person who I interviewed on my show who told me that you're an activist and would always fight for Medicare for all? We may not be your constituents, but make no mistake, we got you elected. You campaigned as an activist. You showed pictures of shoes with holes in them, saying how much you campaigned. You said you were of the people. Where are those activists now? I can't comprehend how their trepidation of pissing off people who already loathe you, people like Pelosi, who you refer to as Mama Bear, who have done nothing but insult you, belittle you, and block you. Why are you worrying about what she, of all people, thinks? She already knows how she feels, and she will not be swayed. You don't even have to do this alone. It would be with other reps and with thousands and thousands of supporters backing you. Your fear is not doing yourself any favors. There is no doubt the establishment knows about force the vote, and they're waiting to give cheers with their mimosas if you disregard those of us you have always said you are one with. Some people love to say it won't pass anyway, but they're missing the point. Whether it passes or not, this weekend is important because if we stand up and fight for it, that is also a victory. If it was a bad strategy, Pelosi would have already done it. As someone who has become disabled, it is frustrating to see people who say they have no medical bills and no medical needs say forcing the vote now is not the time. What makes you think you can speak for those of us who have those pains right now? We have a president-elect who couldn't care less. We have a president-elect who said he would veto Medicare for all if it came across his desk. We have the man who made Medicare for all a household term and wrote the damn bill, who's been shafted yet again. And so give us something. Give us some bit of hope. We have nothing but each other right now, and I would love to say the people in power aren't as stronger as the power of the people, but is that the case? If you guys can't even stand up and be the activist that you say you are, you need to choose your loyalty. Is it the people who constantly disrespect you, or is it the people who got you elected? We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. We fight for those who are hurting. We fight for the hopeless. We fight for a healthier tomorrow. Never, ever lose your sense of outrage. And you're damn right. Force the fucking vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you so much.